Hello and welcome to Actual Reviews in English, another TLDR look at whatever I've reviewed, where I force myself to say something good, something bad, what I think is the best and what I think is the worst, all in my opinion, of course. And today it's the Tangzu by Divinus Fudu Verse 1. These IEMs have been sent to me by Linsol. I have no affiliation with Linsol. If you want to know more, check out the full review, which is linked in the description, or just head over to actualreviews.com. Okay, so starting off with something good. Now, these IEMs come in a decent package. I mean, nothing's exceptional, but they're a decent package, and they include two sets of tips. They've got the set of Tang Sankai tips and a set of Divinus tips, which are both good sets of tips. I'd never tried the Divinus before, and I think they're a decent set of tips. They work very well with the actual Fudu. I'm going to call it Fudu rather than repeating that whole phrase. So they work pretty well with the Fudu, and it's what gives it their name. Something bad. Well, the cable and stuff. I mean, everything that's included. The tips are great. The rest, you're seeing here what's included. It's an €80 set of IEMs. You don't get a huge amount. You get enough. The case is sort of like an oversized purse, and the cable, while the cable works, it's a little springy and a little rubbery and a little cheap feeling, but it works. I mean, it comes with 4.4. You can choose between 3.5 and 4.4, which is obviously a good thing. But yeah, it doesn't inspire a huge amount of confidence, or not confidence. It just doesn't feel like super high quality. The best. Well, I'm going to have to say that the best thing that comes with these is the actual Divinus tips. For my preferences, it sort of moves the focus of the bass range. It moves it slightly further down from the mid bass and puts a bit more emphasis on the sub bass, making the mid bass not seem quite as pronounced. I mean, I'm not somebody who loves a huge amount of mid bass, and it moves it down slightly, and also it seems to give it a bit more air and a bit more openness in the higher ranges. And they just work well. I mean, it even improves the soundstage a bit with these IEMs, which puts them sort of like on the higher side of average for a set of IEMs. And yeah, I would say the best thing is how these IEMs pair with the Divinus tips. The worst for me is, I mean, they're not a hugely detailed set of IEMs. They're sort of like a smoothed over musical response to them. I mean, they're not really focused on the detail, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think all IEMs should be detail monsters. However, in the upper mids, as we go up the upper mids, there's sort of like a climb up to 2000 hertz, which works to bring the vocals forwards and give a bit of presence to stuff. But then it even sort of dips down, and then there's a peak at 4000, which then dips down again. And in my opinion, that sort of helps to give these a sensation of fake detail, make them seem a little bit more detailed than they are. Yet by doing that, to me, it makes vocals and higher end of guitars and things like that just sound a little bit fragile, a little bit thin and fragile. And to be honest, I think if they'd, rather than using that peak to give it a fake sensation of detail, they'd have just gone with the flow of these IEMs, which is to be smooth and just be an enjoyable sound signature, and not try and push it to make it sound a little more detailed. I think it would sound a fair bit better, or it would just work better. I mean, a slight touch of EQ fixes that, but I'm talking about it in stock form with no EQ. So yeah, to me, that is the worst. But anyway, if you want to know more, check out the full review. I go into a lot more detail, of course. You can find measurements and all that kind of stuff. It's linked in the description, or head over to actualreviews.com, and I'll be back with another one soon. See you later.